What is going on, guys? I am bringing you another Mobile Legends video, technically my first, but if you look on my channel, I do have a gameplay of my Lolita. Please check that out if you want to see exactly how my character operates. Very good resource, very good. Anyways, today I'm going over my very own personal build for Lolita, and if you've ever played League of Legends at all, and you know who Braum is, Lolita is like a complete mirror of who Braum is and skills other than her ult. Her ult sucks. It really needs to be buffed. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. Anyways, so in this build, basically what I would like to start off with right here is the Courage Bulwark. Get 770 hit points, 45 hit point regen, and it gives you a buff, not to you, but also to your surrounding allies. And it gives you 10% defense and attack. This is very, very good, especially early game when you're in the lane and you're poking. Gives you enough poke and survivability. Usually, depending on who you're paired with, I usually like to go with a Yun Zhao. But if there is no Yun Zhao, usually we just go for the poking, but it really helps get those early kills very early in the game, especially if the other team is being very aggressive. And I don't usually tend to be very aggressive in lane, I just want to farm. But if they're going to try to go in, you know, me and my teammate, you know, we're just going to straight up knock you out. And this is really, really good to build on. Starts your tank build, and it really helps you and your allies in team fights. Then we go over here to give her the concentrated energy, 70 magic power, 700 hit points, more build towards that tank. Then you get the 20% spell vamp. All of Lolita skills, which I will go over here just in a little bit, do magic points, AP, MP, whatever you want to call it. I call it ability points. It's just a league thing, and I think it's called that in here too. But anyways, all her skills do magic damage. So, I thought this would be a really good item for a tank build. I mean, it does give you the hit points. It gives you the 20% spell vamp, which is really good for just making your magic attacks hit a little bit harder. And, you know, to be honest, it's just an overall really great item for Lolita. It really is. It's not a straight up fat tank troll build, but it's kind of a fat troll tank build you don't want to mess with because you're going to get clubbed in the face really hard. And she does have a pretty big mallet. So the next item I go for are the warrior boots, and the warrior boots are great. It basically can stack up to 12 stacks in total. Stacks up 3 times, but in 4 of your defense in lasts 3 seconds, I believe. So basically, when you're getting hit by basic attacks, it's just going to make you fatter and fatter and fatter, which is always a good thing. Then we move on over here to the Cursed Helmet, which is 920 hit points, 50 magic resistance, which is good to build that because most of my tanks early before I started, like when I first started playing this game, I usually got really, really wrecked by Eudoras and Annas or Annas. I think it's Nana. My bad. I might have gotten that character's name wrong. Anyways, but I used to get really, really wrecked about it because I thought, oh, if I was a tank, all I need is defense, 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 you know. I didn't really understand the game at first when I first started playing it. But anyways, this item is really, really good to build. Like I said, helps the tank, 920 HP, 50 magic resistance, but the sacrifice works really, really good, especially in the late games during your team fights, because you become a walking DPS machine, because basically you're giving a percentage, like depending on your HP, the more HP you got, the better it's going to be, the better magic damage you're going to be doing, which also ties over here to the concentrated energy with that spell vamp. So that DPS magic damage is also going to be not like, you know, too overpowered, but, you know, it's going to be pretty good. So, but when you're in team fights, pretty much they're going to be trying to take you out, but you have your other 4 teammates in there in the team fight, but you're also bleeding them out of that damage while they're around you. So it really helps. Racks in the assists, which is really good because in a tank build, you're not going to go 16, 1, and 12. let's just be honest here. You're not an assassin. You're not going to be Mia, who's completely broken and attacks you like a freaking walking crit machine gun. But, you know, basically as a tank, you have to sacrifice yourself. You got to be in there. You got to take the blows. And you know what? When I used to play League a lot, I played either supports. Well, that's pretty much the only thing I remember playing. I played as Thresh and Braum. And that's how I got really good with this character, is because she is a lot like Braum. But anyways, then we got the Immortality, 800 HP and more magic resistance. And this basically gives you the Resurrect ability, gives you 15% HP as a shield after dying. And what I've noticed since I picked this like to be almost the last item in the build, I have died in a game. And since my HP is so ridiculously high at this point, that as soon as I get resurrected after dying, that my entire health bar is pretty much a shield. The shield doesn't last forever, it lasts like, I think 2 seconds, I believe. But, it's really good. I mean, it gives you enough health and just enough shield to get out of there. And a lot of people don't seem to pay attention to this item. You'll find out, like, really good players when they kill you, because they can tell, you know, around your character is like a bunch of white mist or aura that circles around your character. That means the immortality is in effect. So if you did die, you'd be resurrected. But a lot of the new players don't really understand that. They don't really notice it. They'll like pop you, knock you down, boom, you're dead, and then they'll run off. Like, okay, well, we killed her, let's move on. You know, and then you'll resurrect. But for those that actually know that you're about to be resurrected, because it doesn't trigger a kill, it doesn't say like you have been slain, they'll stand around and wait. And if it's not a Yun Zhao, and we all know he's pretty much really annoying to deal with his skills, because there's no getting away. He's like Scorpion, basically, like, get over here. You could pretty much get away. And I've, like, when I have gotten knocked out with this item, I have gotten away at least 85% of the time. So it's a pretty much a freebie. Like, you know, okay, you got knocked out, we're gonna give you a mulligan here. So, and the last item is the Demon's Advent, 920 HP and 54 armor. And the passive is basically when the enemy hero attacks, this ability will reduce his or her attack power by 4%. This effect lasts 2 seconds and can stack up 3 times for 12% attack reduction. I cannot tell you how crucial that is for a tank build. And I usually love this item last, is usually because depending on the game, a lot of the big team fights usually happen around, from what I've noticed, around level 12 to level 15. And if you're pretty much farming as much as you can, you're usually gonna have this build up fully done by, I want to say, level 13 or 14. So, and plus the late game is when things really start coming together in the end. So, pretty much this, I just played a game with Lolita before I decided to record this video, and I went 2-2-12. And to me, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, you're not going to be recognized as the MVP almost all the time because, you know, you're getting assists. But you know what? This game isn't about like, oh, I'm a real big badass, you know, check me out. You know, I got a 16-1-16. You know, to me, that's not how these games operate, like League of Legends and Mobile Legends. This game is team-based oriented. I don't care. As long as I get the W, I'm happy. I can be happy with a 1-1-5, you know, as long as we got the win, and as long as I'm out there making plays for my team, making sure that we do, or at least I can do whatever on my part to get the win. Now, we're going to go over her skills really, really fast. Yes, you will. Alright, so the energy core here, basically, this is her passive. So, over time, you'll notice when you're using your skills where your mana bar would be, it's a red bar that fills up. That bar usually generates a shield for you and a shield for your allies around you. Once again, she is so great at being a support character due to that, and with that bulwark. Remember that. That bulwark does give attack and defense bonus to surrounding allies. And here, you're also giving them a shield as well. So, she's really, really good at that. And the spell I usually go with her is not the, what is it? Hold on, give me a second here. No, that is not where I want to go. Yeah, here we go. I usually go with the healing spell right here anytime I play with Lolita. I know that, you know, you got tons of other spells here that you can use. Execute, you know, which is basically, you know, just kill an enemy. You could always use a rival. Flicker, stun, whatever. But with Lolita's build, this right here, and when I'm playing a game, I never have to technically return home because, you know, you don't use mana. And you got the regen, and I use the regen to, you know, restore health. I'm pretty sure everyone uses that like 90% of the time when they play the game. But with this, you're also helping out your teammates because it regens 15% HP for you. And according to the number of nearby teammates, it regens at most 15% of health for them. This comes in so good, especially in the late game when you're out there having those 5v5 team fights. And like I said, like these are three things that your character is giving all your teammates. The bulwark, the attack and defense bonus when you're out there and you're in the team fights. Then you got her passive that gives them a shield. Then you got this right here that heals them up to 15% of their health. And in this game, health matters because, like, you know, usually most team fights I see, it usually comes down to the wire. It's all like, oh, that guy's like one hit away from dying, and then, you know, they ended up getting killed. So, you know, whatever helps the teammates. And I always run this. So, and I never get weak enough to where I'm pushed out of lane and I have to return home to heal. Unless it's like I'm in a lane by myself and it's like 3v1, but, and there are games like that, but anyways, we're going to go back to where I was describing her skills. Now, this skill right here, the energy rocket, this is her bread and butter. I cannot go over it enough. It is something that you would always want to put in a skill point for. I mean, everyone has different builds, but I'm pretty sure that most of the build you want to go with this. Basically, it does magic damage, and when you throw it out, and you have to be really good at skill shots, and I used to be really, really bad with them because I played with Layla, and I could never hit her skill shots. But if you're really good at hitting skill shots, you're going to do so good with this character, because when you hit the enemy champion once, they get slowed down pretty bad. And then you'll notice if you look at your skill icon, there's a little blue bar ticking around it. You have that amount of time to use that skill again. And if you throw that skill out and hit the same champion again, they are stunned, and that helps all the time. You have no mana. You could spam this as much as you want, especially in lane. Very good poke, especially in lane. If you're with someone like a Yun Zhao, you guys are going to really be aggressive in that lane, especially if you get that stun. You're going to push the enemy back pretty well. And that's usually who I love being paired with, is a Yun Zhao. And her next skill over here is a protective shield. I did hear in the latest patch that it did get nerfed. Like in the last game I played before I decided to do this recording, I didn't really notice a nerf with it. Apparently there was a bug or something where if you use her shield, you won't get hit by enemy turret damage. I never decided to use that because I didn't want to be stupid when I was out solo queuing. But this is pretty much like a check towards any ADC type characters you're going to play against, like Mia, Layla, Anna, you know, whoever. I mean, there is an Anna troll build out there to where she is built like a Mia. and it surprisingly works pretty well. But basically, this is kind of like the Braum thing. You throw out a shield, and when I do this in game, depending on what I'm going up against in lane, I usually throw it out and stand in front of my teammate in line so that, you know, no one's out there and, you know, basically trying to hit my teammate, trying to protect them as long as I can so they could stay in lane as long as they can, help me farm gold as long as I can, because in the end game, that's what you want to do is farm, farm, farm. You want to get your build up as soon as possible, because the faster you get your build, the more better of an asset you're going to be for the team. And basically, all it does is, and when I say it checks the ADC, is that when your opponent is a Mia, her 99% of the time, her build is going to be lifesteal, attack speed, more attack speed, followed by more attack speed with crit. She becomes a walking machine gun that deals crits. And those are from basic attacks. This shield blocks basic attacks. It does not block skills. It does not block Layla's ult. Don't get the wrong idea. It blocks basic attacks, which is basically like Mia's bread and butter is, you know, basic attacks. Because she's going to attack you really, really fast from a long range and deal crits. And they like to do that in the lane. They like to poke, especially Clint. Clint's love to poke. But this is basically a really good skill to have. I wouldn't max level it. Like I said, always try to max out your energy rocket and your ult as soon as possible. And speaking of ult, let's segue to her really shitty ult. And like I said, I really do not like her ult. I really think her ult needs to be buffed due to the fact that it is so bad. Okay, so where to begin? Okay, so her ult, I would have to guess, on the top of my mind, takes about 1 second to maybe a second and a half for it to just come out. And it comes out in a cone in front of her, and anyone standing in that cone area while you're charging up your ult is slowed down like tremendously. Like they go like a snail pace. They go really, really slow. Now, I don't know if it's because it's bugged or just how the creators intentionally made her ult, but if you're hit or stunned or anything like that while your ult is charging, your ult is gone. It is gone. It is automatically canceled. It is no longer going to go out. And the thing that frustrates me the most about that is that your ult, even if you max out your ult, you're looking at a 30-second cooldown. So you could be in a team fight and you charge up your ult, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get hit from the side. You didn't see them standing in the bush. They're coming in for a side gank, and then all of a sudden, boom, your ult's gone. Now you're ultless for about 30 seconds, and it really does hurt. It really does. I mean, with the build that I've presented, she's not a full AP, you know, I'm going to destroy your soul kind of troll build, because when people see Lolita, they think of tank. But her ult does do pretty good damage regardless. It does great damage against the squishier characters, the ADCs, the mages. It does great damage against them. It does alright damage, you know, with the spell vamp from your lantern and all that. It does alright damage against the tankier people. Basically what you would aim to do against the tankier classes, the fatter classes, is you want to use your energy rocket to get the slow on them and get the stun, and that's usually what I do, especially in team fights. Works great on those that want to run away, especially if you're really good at throwing out the Q. But that's basically it. What you want to do, any tips that I can give out for Lolita, practice your Q shots. You want to make sure you land those energy rockets. As far as champions go, who to be paired with, I would say going with Yun Zhao is always the best if you can be with him. But if someone else really needs him in lane as well, like if there's a Mia by herself in the bottom lane, it's fine. I haven't really noticed any hero champion that had bad synergy going with Lolita, as far as I know, and I played a lot of games with her. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. As long as you're, you know, being smart, don't be too aggressive. Just keep an eye on your teammate, you know, because you're basically, like, you're like a paladin, a really fat paladin. You want to make sure you keep an eye on your teammate. Make sure you're trying to protect them as much as you can when your protective shield comes up. You want to make sure to have it ready. Always keep your eye on the opponent if they're going to try to poke your teammate, because they'll notice that you're a tank and they're going to most likely not focus on you. They're going to focus on your teammate because they know they're not going to kill you. They know that. So they're going to try to take out your teammate instead. They're going to try to start poking them so that they can get your teammate to retreat back home so that they can pressure you. So as long as you're there to support your teammate in lane in the early game, things will go by just fine. Alright, so that will conclude my Lolita build. Like I said, check out the videos on my playlist. I do have a game with her. It was a pretty ridiculous game. I can't really remember how it turned out. It had to be like 10, 5, and 16 or something like that. It was a crazy game. If you want to see exactly how I use Lolita, there is that as a reference. I don't have another game recorded. Please like if you love the video and leave a comment down in the comments section. I will pretty much be looking towards your guys' comments. If there's anything else you need to know, like I said, I'll be there and I'll reply. If there's anything else you want to see, like if you want me to upload another build video for another tank character, I pretty much use red, let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.